Hi, everybody. Welcome to session 2 of our painting of Lake Agnes. I hope you enjoy it. Let's go. Okay, so just to go through what we're going to be doing today. Today we're going to be adding the snow and the little trees. So all of these snow shapes we'll probably need at least 2 coats of white because we're going over dark. So we're just going to put, and then these are kind of my stylized trees. I actually did this painting when I was still at college. My teacher was Marla Panko, and it was her idea to stylize the trees because she knows I love Lawren Harris. So this is kind of Lawren Harris's style of clusters of trees to actually just really break them down. So I did these 3 going in the triangle, the color triangle that I like to do. And then we just got 2 kind of little ones here as well. Just more in the darker, so you've got like a silhouette. So this is just going to be pure white. I did put a tiny bit of pale blue at the bottom of this snowy area and at the bottom here, but it's mostly pure white. With the ice, I put the emphasis of the light at the top because it's reflecting from the water, from the sun. And then as it gets closer to the front, I've added a little bit of my blue, and it's still my grade blue. So I'll probably use this Cobalt Blue with a little bit of the raw umber again to gray it down. I may bring in a little bit of this phthalo blue, Windsor Blue, so it's not exactly the same color. And then I just brought in a few other dark spots, and then I used a gray here, and again I made the gray with my blue, my raw umber, and lots of white, but I balanced the 2 colors equally so they canceled each other out to make this gray, just for a slight change to break, because this is quite a large area and I wanted to kind of just break it up a little bit. So yeah, so we're going to start with pure white, then we're going to put in this gray, the little trees, and then we should be done. So it should be fairly straightforward. If you have any areas that you need to put a second coat on, let's do all the white first because we're going to cover some areas anyway. So if you find your blue needs a second layer, let's put the white in first because you might not need to cover it as much. So let's get our white out. I'm going to get my paint out.
And if you could recommend a brush, Julie, please.
Oh yeah, so I'm going to be using a filbert today because I have a lot of kind of round edges on a lot of the snow. For this one, I'm going to be using a flat because the flat, to get the sharp edges, you could also use an angled brush for this. But for the ones with the rounded edges, I'm going to use a small filbert. Let's start sketching out the snow on the mountain in the distance. So I'm going to start with this kind of jagged angle. And we want to try our best to keep these lines quite smooth. So the first layer will still be fairly transparent. They're not exactly the same, but almost.
Ask Julie, how many
Hi.
brushes have you got on the go at one time?
Oh, that's a good question. More than I should. If I'm really disciplined, I should only have one or two. At the moment, I have two because I'm actually using both of these. So I'm going to be using my filbert and my angled flat. But sometimes if I'm teaching and I get busy, it's easier to grab a clean brush and to clean it, which is really bad. But you know, it's better to have one or two brushes that you really like that you're using all the time, and just make sure you clean them. So I have 2 cups of water on the go. One I always keep clean for a final rinse, and then the other one is the water that I rinse with, and keep lots of paper towel on the go as well.
Yeah, I find that I either wipe them so often and then I have to change my water, or
Yeah.
I have a lot on the go and then I get mixed up or I drop the
Yeah.
that's why I have drop sheets, keeping up, well, particularly in class, I think, because I'm trying to keep up, so I use more brushes than
Yeah.
usual.
So
It's just, I guess the main thing is cleaning them well after. And I use the coconut oil.
oh yeah.
It's a solid form and it's really good for
Oh,
conditioning them. Yeah, and you told us about that a long time ago. So I got some and it's great.
Your shapes don't have to look like mine. No, it's your painting.
That's good.
I've got a bit of an unsteady hand today. So I'm gonna let this dry and work on the next few, and then when it's all dry, I'll do a second layer. So again, I'm just continuing with all of the white. So I'm gonna do this one here. That runs quite close to this edge. And it's tempting to do this paint really thick to get it out of the way in one go, but I would recommend you do the 2 layers. So I'll do the same as last week. I'll send you the raw recording straight from Zoom. And then once I've edited it down, I'll put the edited one onto YouTube. So you can decide which one you want to use.
Well, thank you.
I have a busy week this week because I'm volunteering at the Scouts teaching art. And I'm
Oh.
volunteering at Dean's School teaching art this week as well. Should be fun.
Is that with Scouts in Hamilton or whereabouts, Julie?
Dundas.
A lot of my Hamilton friends used to be very active in the scouting community. I mean, from a leadership point of view.
Yeah, the Dean goes to the Scouts, and the leader asked me if I'd run the art class this week. So we're going to be drawing a beaver. Because it's the
Well, that's
beavers.
good exposure to the arts for them.
Oh yeah, it'd be really fun. They're so excited. So I decided to speed the next bit up a little bit and put a commentary over it. This is a recording of a live class, so there's lots of great conversation that happens during this class, but some of it's a little bit private, so I didn't want to put this in the public domain. So I'll just do a little commentary as to what I'm doing right now. So I'm adding pure white at the very top of where my ice is. And then I'm doing a slow transition into a light grey blue at the bottom of the canvas. And how I'm achieving that is I'm mixing the same color combination that I used for those mountains in the middle ground. So the Windsor Blue, Phthalo Blue, raw umber, lots of white. So it'll be kind of a grey blue. A little bit more emphasis on the blue rather than the brown. And then as I get towards the bottom of the canvas, I'm just adding a little bit more blue. So you get that real bright white reflection of the sun on the ice in the kind of distance. Just to finish this painting off, I'm adding a little bit of that pale blue just at the bottom of the snow that's on the mountains. I'm also doing a second layer on my snow just to get it kind of nice and crisp and get rid of the transparency. Do feel free to pause this video whenever you need to, because I realize this is speeded up. But feel free to pause it and watch at your own leisure. Last but not least are my clusters of stylized trees, very much on the Lawren Harris sort of feel, style, influence. For this I'm using phthalo green with a little bit of my phthalo or Windsor Blue and a little bit of white. And I'm making these shapes very, very simple. So just little triangles of various shapes and sizes. The ones at the very top, I am making those a little bit paler because they're closer to my light source. And then the final thing is just adding a little bit of an even lighter tone on the side facing my light source to indicate a little bit of snow or just a little bit of reflected light on those trees. Well, that about wraps it up for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check out my other videos on my YouTube channel, and I really appreciate your comments and feedback, so please don't forget to leave me comments in the comment section.